I am going to ask you to look at a category of gathering most of you have never thought about professionally and ask what you can steal from it. Medical and scientific meetings are not your world. They have their own ecosystem, their own culture, their own kind of participant, people carrying pieces of problems that have not yet been solved, assembled in the same room under enough structured pressure that the pieces have a chance of finding each other. The conversations that happen there, including the ones in corridors between sessions and at dinner tables at 10 o'clock at night, produce collaborations, treatments, and in some cases, cures that would not exist otherwise. The medical meeting is the only category of gathering in human history whose value has been scientifically documented and proven. Your industry has been producing gatherings for decades without once asking what this category of meeting knows that you do not. I built the first one, and what I learnt then is more relevant to what you do now than anything you were taught about event management. My name is Alexander Monro, born 1697. First professor of anatomy at the University of Edinburgh at 23. My son held that chair after me, his son after him. 126 years. We were a stubborn family. I gathered physicians into a room, not to lecture them, to argue with each other. I called it the Society for the Improvement of Medical Knowledge. We met regularly, we disputed findings, we published what we decided. It became the first peer-reviewed medical journal in Britain, one of the first in the world. The meetings were built on what I called polite sociability. The idea was that learned men could disagree without destroying each other. For a while it worked beautifully. Then one of my colleagues, William Cullen, employed a student as tutor to his children. The student's name was John Brown. Brown was difficult, brilliant, perpetually broke, and constitutionally incapable of agreeing with anyone, especially the man who had employed him. He claimed there were only two diseases, too much stimulation and too little, and that the solution to both was alcohol and opium. He was not entirely wrong and not entirely right, which is the most dangerous position in medicine. His followers and Cullen's followers began attending the same Saturday meetings. What had been polite disputations became something considerably less polite. Someone leaked proceedings to a local tabloid. The society sued. Brown collected the student dues and had to be formally forced to return them. He died in London, found in bed one morning, probably from too much of his own favorite gout medicine, which was brandy and opium. And here is what I want you to understand about all of that chaos. It worked. Two incompatible ideas in the same room, forced to defend themselves against each other, in front of an audience that had to decide. That is how medicine advanced, not through quiet agreement, through productive friction, conducted in person, where you could not hide behind a letter, where someone could look you in the eye and say, "I have seen what you have not seen, and you are wrong." My job was not to prevent the argument. My job was to design the conditions under which the argument could happen without someone getting killed. The right people in the room, enough wine to loosen the tongue, not enough to loosen the fist. The original facilitation challenge. You think gathering was invented by your industry? It was not. Lloyd's of London began as merchants, sitting at the same tables at Edward Lloyd's coffee house near the Thames, not by design, because the right people were in the same room long enough to realize what they had in common. Insurance was invented in a coffee house. The stock exchange was invented in a coffee house. Newton dissected a dolphin on the table at the Grecian. When the Thames froze, merchants set up stalls on the ice. Bakers and barbers and booksellers, all doing business with people they had never met, simply because the weather had compressed them into proximity. When the ice melted, the fair disappeared. The relationships did not. Every form of human gathering that has ever produced something of value has operated on the same principle. Put the right people in proximity, give them a reason to talk, and remove every obstacle between them and the conversation they came to have. The coffee house did it with a penny and a cup. The frost fair did it with ice and an ox. I did it with a room, a problem, and the physicians most likely to disagree about it. Everything else is furniture. Here is what I could not have known in 1731. but what your scientists have since confirmed. Researchers who share a building are 33% more likely to collaborate than those who do not. Put them on the same floor and it rises to 57. A study published in Nature in 2023 found that remote teams are systematically less likely to produce breakthroughs. Because breakthroughs require two minds in the same space, reading each other's faces, building on a thought before it disappears. That has never happened reliably across a screen. And now something has arrived I could not have imagined in 3 lifetimes. Artificial intelligence has mapped 200 million proteins that would have taken human researchers centuries. Drug candidates developed with AI are reaching clinical trials at nearly twice the historical success rate. The machine is genuinely, staggeringly powerful. But here is what it cannot do. When insight strikes the human brain, the hippocampus fires. Neural circuits reorganize. An aha moment nearly doubles the likelihood that a person acts on what they suddenly understood. The machine can give your physicians every piece of the puzzle in perfect order. It cannot give them the moment the pieces resolve into a picture. That moment is biological. It requires a prepared mind, an unexpected encounter, and something that surprises it. The physicians who come to your gatherings now arrive having already consulted AI about every paper being presented. They carry more processed knowledge than I accumulated in a lifetime. And in the corridor between sessions, at the coffee station you positioned deliberately, 2 of them will have a conversation the machine prepared and could not complete. The machine does the compression, the human does the collision. Your meeting is where the collision happens. Build rooms where that can happen. Design the argument. Facilitate the friction. Put the right people in proximity and give them enough time to surprise each other. That is what I did in Edinburgh in 1731. It is still the job.